This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and do not adjust your YouTube or Twitch accounts. Yes, it said post Dynamite show on the intro video, but we are here for a special post Dynasty pay-per-view show. How are we, friends?
Doing good.
Doing great, buddy. Doing great. Great pay-per-view.
Long show.
Good morning, good evening. Thank you,
Yeah.
Raz. You're welcome there, C. Henry.
It's just an ordinary AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Dylan in the chat as well, and Kai saying it's fucking late. Yes, you are not
Damn
wrong.
right it is. Yeah.
But we appreciate every single one of you joining in and coming over to this show. I know it's late. Don't worry, we're not going to be here for a super fucking crazy time. We are just going to break down a little bit of the show and get out of here as quick as possible. We do not want to be here for the length of the whole damn pay-per-view.
No.
Or the media scrum that's going to happen in 20 minutes.
Oof. Yeah, right.
Not covering a 3-hour media scrum.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
Jeez.
First of all, thank you everyone who's in the chat and watching and coming in at this late hour. It is really appreciated. I know some of you might have work tomorrow and shit like that, but it's really, really appreciated. And yes, as Alex said, that's right. We're going to break down Dynamite. Before we get started on breaking it all down, what did everybody think of the pay-per-view overall?
I really think it's better than Revolution, to be honest with you.
What about you, Ralph?
Yeah, I didn't I mean, little things here and there, but honestly, I didn't really see too much of a bad match tonight. I mean, enjoyable from beginning to end.
Taking into consideration you went to WrestleMania,
Yeah.
What would you say was the better of the two?
I think I've got to say WrestleMania, just because I think that, WrestleMania was really a complete card from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I think it's comparing apples and oranges, but really, AEW is just a different vibe. It's a different style. Again, some people will like WWE and the big glitzy production. Not that there wasn't great wrestling, but AEW in general is considered more, I think, of a pure fundamentalist wrestling fans company. The wrestling there is generally more solid, and we got some bangers tonight.
Yeah. C. Henry says, bell to bell, I thought this pay-per-view was better than Mania.
And again, I think that's certain people have certain styles that they enjoy, and AEW always puts on a good pay-per-view. That's one thing, they're very known for, is they put on a good show.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Dylan has said 3 out of 5. He and he says this was a good first attempt with Dynasty. Definitely need to work on some of the kinks that they had to tighten up that card. I can agree. There was definitely some kinks, like a certain match that we will gloss over, and that I think definitely should have been on the pre-show.
I don't think it should even be on the pre-show. I think it should put it on Dynamite.
Put it on Rampage. Just put it on Rampage.
Yeah.
Did WWE drop the ball with Swerve? We will get to that in a little bit. But basically, Dylan, if you want to join, hit me up. I'll send you the link as well. Actually, I'll just send you the damn link anyway, because if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Let's get it started, shall we? We started off with the pre-show. Or does Nada make Swerve better?
Interesting thought.
I think at first Prince Nada was a problem in the companionship of the group, but since Swerve's essential face turn, he has just helped Swerve grow. So, Kai says this was better than Mania, but so far TJPW Grand Princess is still my favorite show of the year. Of course it is, Kai, because you're a Joshi King. What's up, Scott, Stephen, and Ralph?
How you doing, Jake?
What's going on, man?
The Nana dance gives him power. You're not wrong.
Something there with that.
We'll get more into that as the show goes on and when we get to the main event anyway. Let's get it started. We started the pre-show with Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. Not a really super hyped up match from anything. Definitely saw a different side to Beretta in this match. And I think that we're going to see an interesting feud building between the former best friends and Orange Cassidy. What do you guys think?
Well, Trent hasn't explained his actions yet, so I think they're going to build it up for Double or Nothing. But it's really cool to see Matt Sydal's brother back. It's been a while seeing him on TV.
Yeah, I like Trent. I think it's long overdue that he gets an interesting storyline here. I think that he's very talented and he's often overlooked as far as like the least of the best friends. So I think this is going to be a real showcase for him, to be able to get a little bit of a spotlight. And I think it's great that, they're building this sort of, fall of the best friends here where they're kind of at each other. So I think it'll be good for everyone involved. But I do like the fact that, Trent is at least getting a little bit more.
Yeah.
And not only that, though, we're supposed to find out Wednesday what side Chuck will be on. So
I think we're going to build to something really interesting, and it definitely puts in line for Double or Nothing with regards to a future match with Cassidy and Trent Beretta in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you put it on Dynamite. I think you push it until Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
if I was booking this best friends thing, I would have Chuck taking nobody's side, and I think you've got to end up in a three-way dance at some point here.
100%. I actually agree with you on that. You have a three-way dance, and you have not that it would really fall like that, but the possession of Chris Statlander. Maybe we get Statlander on a forklift.
No. Oh, that's great.
You know what's funny? I actually watched that pay-per-view the other day.
Oh no. Well,
and that match was terrible.
You're a better man than I am.
That match was absolutely terrible. I was like, why are we doing this? WCW, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, bad.
So we get obviously Orange Cassidy in the next match with Katsuyori Shibata against Shane Taylor Promotions, which was Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Trent won his match. You had Trent go to beat the crap out of Seidel afterwards. And then on the entrances, you've had Chuck come out to make the save. And then you've had Orange and Shibata making their entrances. Not really a super exciting match, this one. Clearly, because it's just a tag team match. I think we're building more towards the best friends turmoil sort of thing. That's where we're going to see a payoff in that eventually. We then move on to the pre-show match, which should have been on the main card.
Exactly.
The six-man tag team match for the World Trios Champion and the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Championships. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus the Bullet Club Gold. What did we think?
Great match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great match.
I think it's about time that they start. There's way too many titles. There's no way around it, especially when you have ROH and AEW crossing over as much as they do. There's too much. So I'm glad they did this. I'm glad that they, I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Jay White didn't love the Acclaimed.
Get a new trio styles, get one brand.
Yeah. Well, they did announce that this match was a unification match for the belts. So I think we will be seeing new titles being introduced where it's AEW/ROH, what they call it.
Maybe the AEW charged titles like the Acclaimed trio styles $5,000.
Jeez, yeah.
The undisputed AEW. You're not wrong there, Alex. You're not wrong.
Crazy.
I thought this was a good match. Everybody's been pitching that this was going to be the point where Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaimed. Once again, it did not happen.
I really thought that's going to happen, though. I really do.
I don't think they need that. I really don't think they need that. I think Bullet Club Gold can stand on their own. The Guns can definitely stand on their own as well.
I think this is a good conclusion to a convoluted storyline, because just having the Acclaimed and Bullet Club together just never really gelled with me. So I'm glad this is. Jeez.
Alex is on fire tonight.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really much trios teams right now in AEW now, besides the Acclaimed,
Yeah.
There's the Acclaimed, there's the House of Black, and that's
you got Dark Order, and that's pretty much if they're still wrestling.
C. Henry says, no disrespect, but I never got into six-man titles, even when the NWA used to have them back in the day.
Now, that was awesome back in the day. Now the NWA now.
Six-man tags were much different back then. It was a whole different, there was a different focus on that.
Yeah.
The six-man, if I remember correctly, the reason for the Freebird rule was because the six-man tags, because they were a three-man team, and the Freebird rule was that any one of them could defend the title, like any
right,
titles.
Yeah.
Like rather, so for example, you and Ralph could defend the titles, or myself and Ralph, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Undisputed Kingdom also. They could be a six-man as well.
Sure.
EVPs. Yep.
Yeah, we've got the EVPs as well, with either with Kazuchika Okada or now Jack Perry.
Yeah.
We'll get into that further on. We've got Nexus present. We've also got Pro Wrestling Kingpin in the chat as well. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for all showing up. The Mogul Embassy. We've got the Mogul Embassies. We talk about Swerve, but we forget he's in a faction. So, that's it for the pre-show. All in all, my thoughts on the pre-show were it was solid, but there's definitely matches that should not have been on there and should have been pushed to the main show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should have been on Dynamite, though. For example, the Trent match.
Yeah. We move into the opening match of the show, which is Kazuchika Okada defending his Continental title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had to think. The Continental title and against
Pac.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm
We
getting
need to
old.
shake Raz. Hey, wake up, Raz.
Yeah,
I'm getting old.
I know the feeling.
Fucking
Yep,
solid.
Same here.
Absolutely solid match, though.
Yeah.
Definitely a banger to kick off the show. Alex is coming up with more names for the trios division.
You know that spot at the end of that match, Raz, with the Pac and Okada match, when he tried to do his finisher there on the top rope, the
and
way
he
he was
almost broke
Pac
his
in
fucking
and
jaw.
hit his knees of Okada there, probably broke his nose.
He didn't get the nose; he got the jaw.
The jaw, but kind of, he was probably
Yeah.
got the guy that got the nose.
No,
on
he
that.
actually got him in the jaw. If you go back and when they show the slow-mo, or the replay, they show a bit of it in slow-mo, and he actually gets the jaw, and it fucking hits hard. Like, it hits really hard. Okada walks out the champion with this one. Solid match, really strong showing, as always.
Yeah.
Found it interesting the way they did the ending of that match after, like the after match of letting Pac be in the ring and soaking it all in. Is that telling us something?
It's possible. I mean, you know, there were that match. They really matched up very well together, Okada and Pac. I mean, it was just, you know, hard hitting and brutal from bell to bell. I thought it was the perfect way to start off the show, and it seemed like at various moments throughout the entire show tonight, we get those kind of moments where, like, you wonder, like, something happens but nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to look at a lot of the situations tonight, and that's, you know, starting off the show with that. Who knows? I mean,
that was the first time they wrestled against each other, so it's a good match between both of them.
I think C. Henry can read minds, because that's exactly what I was definitely thinking. Like, is it maybe that he's hanging up the boots, or that he's leaving the company? Who knows? Like,
there's so many options now, you know, for what he could be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think it was a really solid match, though. Great to see, and great to have it open the show. Something a strong match, rather than starting with something that would be easily switched off if you're tuning in for the first time. Alex, you're not going to let this go until you've named them all, are you? The Blackpool Combat Club. We got Brandon in the chat. Welcome, Brandon. Thank you for joining us. What was the next match? Was it the 6-man, or was it the?
It's the 6-man tag, Copeland and the House of Black.
So it was Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe versus the House of Black.
The crazy chicken heads or whatever.
Yeah, the rated R
chicken hogs, whatever you call it.
Yeah, right.
Rated R.
I told you, Alex is not giving up.
Alex, you get the point, man.
Alex, we appreciate it, and you're definitely not wrong.
Oh, geez.
Yep. That was this match, Alvin Simon and Theodore.
Yes.
Okay, who's Dave Seville?
Versus House of Black. What did you guys think of this match?
I enjoyed it. And,
Yeah, it was a solid match.
It's a good match, and it's a good match it's good for Malachi to pin Copeland. I think it's going to set up between these two for the TNT title.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think we are getting a future match between Copeland and Malachi one-on-one. I think AEW has been putting hints in this past, like on this show, they've set up some things for the next pay-per-view. That's my belief. I believe a lot of what they were doing tonight definitely set up what we are going to be seeing coming forward.
Yep. It's going to be a great match between Copeland and Malachi Black.
Yeah, I think everybody looked good in this match. House of Black always looks great. Some great spots where Eddie Kingston got down on the ground, sat up and said, bring it, kind of his I'm the tough guy gimmick. But I mean, anytime I get to see Eddie Kingston on the screen, it's always a good time.
Yeah.
Apologize for that noise outside, guys. It's daytime over here, as you know.
I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah,
I muted my mic so that you didn't hear it. So
yeah,
I was like, shit. Good to see House of Black get the win, though.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes,
I agree.
Yeah, because I really didn't think they were going to win this one. I had it going the other way, but yeah, it is good to see that.
Yeah. We then moved on to the international title. No.
All right, Alex. Enough. I've already set Dark Order down.
Going to Dark Order. Was it the international title match next?
Actually, that was the international title match next. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So we had Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. Fucking one of the most solid matches on the show. As ABJ said in his stream, two men who can be considered best in the world, but just haven't been given that moniker.
Second best match of the night, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, this one was really good. On the one hand, you have two guys who, their story is long. This has gone through multiple companies, and they really know each other. So you're going to get a good match out of them because you've got two guys who have great chemistry with each other, know each other inside and out. But this, we talked about this during the stream in reference to another match on the card where, these guys don't necessarily get the due that other people do. And so it gave me a very 80s WWE feel where, you have certain guys that are on the top of the card that are getting all the accolades, but it's that mid-card talent, that, intercontinental type mid-card talent that's really putting on the wrestling clinics. And I think that's what you saw tonight.
It's kind of like what WCW used to do with the Lucha Libre or the Cruiserweights. Where the cruiserweights would open your show and they would be the strong fucking matches of the show. And then you'd have your main event guys at the top of the card, but people would be tuning in to see those cruiserweights going mental and carrying the company like crazy.
Sure. Yeah, that was a time when even if you were a WWE fan and you were religiously watching Monday Night Raw during the Monday Night Wars, you still wanted to see those cruiserweight matches on WCW because they were doing things that nobody else was doing.
Yeah, 100%. You had people like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, Juventud Guerrero, Psychosis, just to name a few. Dean Malenko, like all
Jerry Lynn, JL.
Yeah,
the chairman, La Parca.
Yeah, you had so many different guys.
Such a good roster of cruiserweights that were just killing it.
Super Callow, Super King.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you had a great feud with Jericho and Dean Malenko that was built up over months. It was just built up and built up. And Dean Malenko walked out and then was a surprise entrance in a battle royal and then goes to beat Jericho for the belt. Like,
Forgot one more, Billy Kidman.
yeah, definitely.
Don't forget Prince Iaukea. Just throwing that in there because he had a great feud with Jericho. That was the time when Jericho was like stealing things from everyone. Jericho was so good in WCW, like just unbelievable.
Yeah. Definitely this match with Carl and Roderick was going to be a solid match, whether we wanted it to be or not. It was definitely going to be something that had the potential to steal the show. I would say it did until.
But after the match, though, it's a miracle. Adam Cole can walk.
Finally. Wheelchair bound no more.
Yeah.
Wow.
And woof,
Adam,
it looks could kill at Wardlow. Woof.
After the match, Wardlow comes out and we get the return of Adam Cole walking to the ring. Not being wheelchaired to the ring, walking to the ring.
Yeah.
The boot is off, and we now have little hints of what's to come for Wardlow. Like that death stare. That death stare was
same exact stare he gave MJF, and we all know what happened there.
Yep. But the thing is, it's so subtle. They did it so subtly, and you even had Wardlow looking disinterested. But it's going to work into the story. So
screw waiting MJF for Forbidden Door. Might as well give him Double or Nothing.
See, Henry goes, where does Kyle go from here? Kyle O'Reilly has the ability to do anything he wants from here. I think that you can push him to go for Okada. I think you could push him to go for the International Championship. You could push him to go anywhere he wants to. I think you could easily set up after Double or Nothing. You could easily have Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship.
I know Anthony didn't like my idea though, but if you bring back Bobby Fish, bring back Red Dragon.
I'd be think okay we're going to see Bobby Fish in AEW again.
Yeah,
I would like that. Yeah, I would like that, but yeah, it's
I think what Bobby Fish did when he left the company, I don't think we're ever going to see him in AEW again.
True.
I think Kyle O'Reilly's the kind of guy that you could put on a show like Collision and just have him have those like early bangers early in the show where it makes him like must see on Collision. I think
Kyle O'Reilly, Ricky Starks are two future guys who you can build a TV show around very easily.
Oh yeah,
they can be your Gunther, your Sami Zayn, your Seth Rollins of Collision.
Yeah.
Like they can be your workhorse crew. You build the shows around that younger talent, and you build the talent up and give them those opportunities. You will make sure that show will succeed, and people will tune into that show because they want to see them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you will create new stars. Has anybody noticed that Kyle's right arm is smaller than, or left arm is smaller than his right arm? Yes, definitely he has lost some size compared to what he was, but injuries do that. Injuries have a tendency of doing that.
You know, it's really amazing for him to come back. You know, he had neck fusion surgery, and it took him so long to heal because he's really diabetic. You know, it takes
almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years out of the sport that he loves, and out of the sport that we love him in.
He looks great. He looks great.
Yeah. To come back and hang in that match with Roderick Strong and just it's really good to see.
Yeah,
the dude looks like he hasn't slept for 6 months, but he looks fucking fantastic for what he is.
Yeah.
So after that match, we move on to the women's title match for the TBS Championship, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale.
Mm.
I am spewing. I did not get to see Julia Hart's entrance because I had to go tend to the kids, but I'm sure it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I don't think Julia's not 100% to begin with. That's why the
No.
match was so short, like what, 7 minutes, Ralph?
Yeah, something like that. It was. Yeah, it was fairly short. Which, again, I mean, it was more of a. I think it was more of a squash match, at least from my from my vantage point. I thought it was more of a squash match, but actually that match. Let me see here. Where is that? I'm looking up the time now.
I think it's like
I'm not seeing it, but it was short. It was
Yeah.
But again, as you said, Julia Hart not being 100%. And I really, and this is something we talked about during the show, but I really feel like I am not a Mercedes Moné fan at all. I don't see the upside to her. I don't see why everybody was going after her. I mean, she came down to the ring and like it took so much away from Willow's win.
I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet earlier, just after she had they showed her backstage, and it said, if this isn't a parody of her being Sasha Banks, then like I don't know what is, because if this is her being a parody of Sasha Banks, it's working fucking fantastically. But if it's not, then that's what's wrong with this whole thing.
Yeah, this, and we'll talk about this a little bit later because, AEW did get it right at one point tonight, but having her come out and taking away from the moment of Willow getting this big win, that's easily, and I said this during the stream, that's easily something they could have done. They could have had Willow come out to start off Dynamite next week and then have Mercedes come out and confront her. Then don't take away from this huge moment for her.
Or if you're going to do something like that, you do it as a returning, you do it as someone that's returning to the company, like Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter or someone who has been on the shelf or out of the eye for a long time. You have that sort of thing. You don't do it as someone who's in the company to challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you don't take away from their moment. I mean, New Japan, they have a bit of a different system. Sometimes after the pay-per-view or after the big matches, the champion will be like talking to the crowd, and then you'll have someone come out, either attack them or just come face to face with them, just to challenge them for that reason and set up this is you and me are the next to go at it. But they don't talk, they don't do promos, they don't do, I'm going to interrupt your moment. It's the moment has been over. They've talked to the crowd as they're going, before they're going to walk to the back, the next challenger will come out. Yeah.
Well, it's all Mercedes been doing is keep interrupting Willow with her promos and after the match.
Yeah. I think we all know Mercedes. We all know that Mercedes was going to challenge, and we all knew that it had to be Willow. It couldn't be anyone else. Julia was rumored to be going into this match with an injury anyway.
Sure.
So I think that was one of the things that made this such a short match.
Yeah.
Seems like Sasha just wants to get her win back from Willow, and unfortunately, I think that's going to happen.
Yep, double or nothing.
I think at Double or Nothing, that's going to happen,
and that's a shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah,
it's going to suck balls because you're going to have fucking Christ. This media scrum has. How long has this media scrum been going?
If they were gonna do it this way, what they really should have done is they should have had Mercedes be the one to take the belt off of Julia, and then have Willow beat her for the title. Because in their little AEW world, it seems like they really, value Mercedes for some reason. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But, I think that given the history that Willow and Mercedes have had, I think that might have been a smarter way to do it. If they weren't just going to let Willow win the title and have her moment, then this might have been the smarter way to do it.
Whatever happened to the ratings record for
the rankings? They still exist. They still do mention them. Like as you saw,
Mercedes though. She only had that one or two matches in AEW so far.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes hasn't even had a match in AEW so far.
It's it's ridiculous.
It's we paid her
need to be
a ton of money, and we're going to get her to win the belt at the next pay-per-view. And we're going to make you wait 3 months before she actually fucking does something. Because that's how much she's worth.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Bullshit. You're right. Agree. Mercedes did not deserve to interrupt that. And ABJ said it perfectly fine. Willow's momentum is just destroyed from here, unfortunately. Willow had big opportunities. Alex is still on the hunt for fucking more trios.
Alex, you're fired. You're done. Bye.
Alex is going to be a part of the BFC, and he's going to be just like finding all the trios. That's his job, to find all the trios in the world.
About 3/4 of the teams he's named are in Ring of Honor. So, oh well.
So Mercedes loses to Willow due to an injury, and then they have Julia immediately take it off her. Now someone else named Julia loses to Willow with an injury, and now Willow is going to lose it immediately once again. Unfortunately, Kai, yes, you are right.
You know, it makes you wonder, though, if they're going to pull the trigger on the Statlander heel turn, possibly.
I thought we were going to see that tonight.
I thought we were going to see that tonight.
Yeah, there was a moment there where it looked like, and that look still could foreshadow that.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good, but it would also make, like, it would throw Statlander into the void, and she's already far enough in the void.
Well, and here's another thought. What if we have a Stokely turn? He aligns himself with Mercedes.
I was thinking Mercedes with Stokely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So that's definitely a possibility down the line as well, because you know anything about Stokely Hathaway, he's a snake in the grass.
Yeah. And Kai, you're about 30 seconds behind, because that's what we were hinting at.
And there's another thing too, Ralph. Trent whispered something in Statlander's ear. And we don't know what he said to Statlander.
Yeah, I mean, she is kind of like the wild card in that whole thing.
Yep.
Because we really have
dressing room. I have cookies.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that match, shall we?
Yep.
We then moved into the match that I believe should have been on the post-show or the pre-show.
Fast forward, next match.
Probably even could have been kept for fucking Rampage, in my opinion, but for some reason, because of politics, ended up on the main show. The FTW rules match for the FTW Championship with Hook versus Chris Jericho. Thoughts and opinions?
Look, I'm a big Jericho fan, but it's really disappointing, It looked like he needs some time off. Looked like he's tired, and he's...
Yeah, it's... I don't even... I mean, there were parts of this match that were just simply dangerous. There was what was it, a back body drop where Jericho almost was a 1/10 of an inch from hitting the corner of the ring steps. Just... I don't know. The FTW title does nothing for me. I think Hook is just biding his time till greener pastures arrive. Yeah.
I think it'd be perfect for Hook to go to NXT. I think it'd be perfect for him.
Yeah, I mean,
yes and no.
It's.
I think.
You don't think so?
I think yes, because of the fact of he could learn more of the business. I think no, because it's the potential of destroying the organicness of him.
I think that they would book him better in TNA.
TNA
At this point, to be honest, I think they would book him better there.
Yeah, maybe go to TNA and live in TNA for a bit and build yourself there. It could, like, if you try to put him in NXT, he'll get the knowledge of the business, but I think he'll lose the organicness of his character. That's what got him over in the first place. Was the organicness of his character. People liked that he was I don't give a fuck. I'm a young kid. I don't care. I don't care about your friendships or anybody else's friendships. I'm here to do my job and go the fuck home. And that's the way Hook should be presented. Yeah. I think in NXT they'll throw him with something like they did with old mate Junior, Brian Pillman Jr., and they'll throw him into a character that he's not going to be able to get over.
Yeah.
I think if you send him to at least TNA, he'll learn some stuff in TNA and he can build on the organicness of his character.
Yeah, they'll be more apt, I think, in TNA to run with what he's already done. You know, WWE is probably going to want to do something with him where they look at it as, you know, he was okay in AEW, but we really built him when he came to WWE. Like, we built him into something, because they have a tendency to want to change people to the point where they can now, you know, either claim credit for it or, you know, down the line have that under their umbrella rather than letting them take the credit for getting themselves to that point.
I know Hook is a man of few words. But he needs to improve with his promos a little bit, you know?
I don't think you need him to have many words, though. If you use him properly and you use his character properly, you don't need him to have many words. He doesn't need to promo. He just needs to be all right. Like, literally, he needs to be something like, let's fight. Done.
Nice and simple. Yeah. Man, a few words. Yep.
Yeah. Let's fight, walk away, and that's it.
And of course, Jericho needs like 6 months off and a reinvention.
He needs to go on another Jericho cruise.
Jeez. Jericho needs to get the fuck away from the company. He needs to take some time away.
Yeah.
I like Jericho, but he has become the Hulk Hogan of AEW. Politicking to get his position, like to get a match on the pay-per-view and to keep himself involved in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing about Jericho, you know, he always seems fresh until he doesn't, and then he usually takes a break or goes to Japan or whatever he does, you know, to kind of reinvent himself. And I think we're getting to the point where we're getting past the expiration date this time.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten past the expiration date of the AEW Jericho that we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that we need to. I think the milk is spoiled, but someone hasn't checked the fridge in long enough to go, oh, that needs to be thrown away.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you notice he changed his name after the match?
No.
The Learning Tree.
The Learning Tree, Chris Jericho.
No bloody.
That was on his entrance graphics. It said Lionheart everywhere else, but it said Learning Tree Chris Jericho on his entrance
after
graphics.
The match. Yeah.
Kai says, if I never see Jericho again, I will not be upset. We have a Devin, the tribal chief, in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Devin.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey.
Don't worry, there's no burning of t-shirts in this chat. In this show.
Not yet.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, Devin. I'm sorry. We're not going to go off onto a tangent because we'll be here for hours.
Yeah.
After that match, we moved into the women's world title match. Timeless Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa. that was a freaking banger of a women's match.
Agree. That was a great
Absolutely.
match. Great match.
There was a couple of missed cues, but that was a banger of a match. Like, I love the fact that you had the hints of Thunder not wearing any face paint. I love the fact that you had Tony in all white with the white makeup. And you just had a lot of things that were really, really good. I thought it was probably one of the best women's matches that I've seen AEW put together in a while.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was hard hitting. I think it lived up to the build up because I thought the build up was really good, and I think well, again, Luther took another shot. That shot into the ring stairs, like that poor guy is just getting slaughtered.
The dude doesn't take bumps, but then he just gets fucking destroyed.
Yeah, how about it? But I think this one ended up the right way because I mean you have Thunder Rosa who has had a claim to the title. She could have done the same exact thing that CM Punk did when he was in AEW. She never lost her title. She was forced to give it up, and I think that this was the right move though because I think right now, with everything that's going on with Toni Storm, I think Thunder Rosa in the chase is the right way to tell this story right now. I think that's where the money is.
And you've got a built-in de facto feud there as well with her, with Thunder and Deonna Purrazzo. Like you've got another section to the feud. So you've got like built-in stories within the main storyline. So
I enjoyed the match. Toni Storm kicked low blow in the Storm power driver to finish the match.
As I said in the in ABJ's chat, which he was going to refuse to say, the cunt punt.
Yeah,
it's late enough for me to say it, so. Late enough for you guys. Yeah, it's still early for me, but it's late enough for you guys. But it was the cunt punt, and then into the Storm Zero.
Yeah, good match.
Good match, really
good match. Toni Storm retains the belt, obviously. We then move on to probably very highly disputed here if you ask ABJ, but in my eyes the best fucking match of the show and the best match of the year so far. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Awesome match.
Again, another match that lived up to the hype. I mean, obviously you're looking at two guys, Daniel Bryan, future Hall of Famer, legend, all these things. You can give him all the accolades. Will Ospreay, very much, in that top tier conversation for best wrestler in the world. And they did not disappoint. There were, throughout the match, there were various, combinations and back and forths that were just, I mean, you probably couldn't have put two other guys in there that could have done it better. I mean, just, hairline misses going back and forth.
Yep. 100%.
I mean what I say. Thank you.
100%.
That's why I'm the king.
My match of the night and the match that I probably, if we want to put this in disgusting terms, I jizzed over. This is a match that definitely would have made me stand to attention.
We might see a rematch between these two at Wrestle Dream, maybe.
This is not over, and I think that,
one shot.
Yeah, it was probably the most, with the exception of maybe the world title match. This was, I think, the match that had the most excitement in it. The crowd was really into this match, and it was a very split crowd.
And there wasn't hard to follow match as well.
Yeah.
Like to be that. This is like, and I know I said we weren't going to stray from the path, but this is like following Undertaker Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26 and 27. And trying to follow those two, like trying to be the ones to follow those matches. And now you're following Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson in what was, in my eyes, the match of the year. Like they put
if it was anybody other than Swerve, I would have been concerned. But Swerve
it was
well,
because
I mean, Swerve is so hot right now that I mean they could have put him after anybody at this point. But if you had anybody else in that main event, it would have been absolutely impossible to follow.
If you if this had been the second to last match and you had the Bucks versus FTR as the main event, this match just would have swallowed the main event.
Well, I would switch it out. I would switch trade this match order for have the ladder match first before Ospreay.
But that's what I'm saying. If you take out the fact of Joe and Swerve and they weren't the main event, and you had the options of putting the Ospreay and Danielson or the ladder match, and you put the ladder match as the main event, you've just destroyed your whole pay-per-view.
Yeah. They definitely, with the way that they ended this match, you needed to have that feel-good moment at the end of the pay-per-view, so they weren't gonna. This was never gonna end the show, but chances of Ospreay versus Swerve are probably not good right now, because I really think they're building, and we talked about this during the stream, I think they're building something with Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, where they are. I think we're gonna see like a trio of matches between them.
How about Mox versus Ospreay?
I definitely think we have. I think we have definitely thrown some kinks in my plans, because I was expecting. I was kind of expecting to see Ospreay versus Swerve at All In.
That's what I was thinking too.
I'm definitely thinking that we are going to see some new things thrown in, because tonight that set up a definite future for matches. Whether Danielson is actually legitimately injured or they're just selling it as an injury, they blurred the fucking lines on that. Like, they blurred the lines.
They did a great job.
And even having Don Callis look like concerned, if they played this as a story, then it is chef's kiss. That's all I'll say.
The selling all around was great, even to the point with the way Bryce was selling it. Like, everybody did such a great job of making it, seem that was just, as bad as it was supposed to be.
C. Henry says, I believe that Ospreay versus Mox for the IWGP title will happen in London. I could see that, but then I don't want to see that. So here's the thing. Who do you think will show up at Forbidden Door? Because it's coming close. I think they're going to start building that after Double or Nothing. We'll start the build to Forbidden Door after Double or Nothing, and I think they'll set some things up at Double or Nothing as well. I think you'll see some people rock up who are going to be challengers, and that will walk through that Forbidden Door.
Between Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door would be like 3 weeks. So
depends on who they're working with this time around. Obviously, New Japan is one of the companies they're working with, but if they're going to have TNA, are they going to have CMLL? Are they going to have a potential working relationship with WWE? Because Tony's been asked about it. So,
yeah,
who knows? Like, And I know if you're WWE, you don't really send your best stars over to a rival promotion.
No, but you pick and you choose. Like they seem like they're getting smart about it. Like, and this is in no way suggesting that Bloodsport is anywhere near AEW's level, but sending someone like Shayna Baszler to Bloodsport, you be smart about it.
You send someone like Shinsuke over to AEW for a match, and holy shit, you're gonna blow the roof off the place, and people will be like, "No fucking way." Who knows? Maybe Drew resigns, but then takes his thing over to AEW, and we get a reappearance of a certain Second City Saint.
You just never know.
Obviously, I don't think Punk would want to cross over with them, but you never know.
The thing about it right now is that it's always been the question of would AEW do this, or would TNA do this, or whatever. Now we're actually looking at a point in time where we don't have to question WWE anymore, because they've spoken about how they're open to this now.
Yeah, I think it's more the fact of that AEW needs to. It's about what's in it for WWE, and unfortunately, there's not much in it for WWE unless they can get Okada, Ospreay for matches at the biggest shows. If you give Ospreay and Okada potential matches at WrestleMania, and you can maybe send one of your biggest stars over to AEW. It's more about what's in it for WWE than what's in it for AEW.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a point in time where WWE is taking a different look at what it means as far as value to them, because now you've got TKO and Endeavor involved. You've got this company that's purchasing in Endeavor. There's a lot of different people at the top. And I think that they're reevaluating what it means for something to be valued to them. Yeah. I hope that's the case. It seems like it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Brandon asked, what was your favorite match from Dynasty tonight? What was the match of the night for you guys?
What we just discussed.
I mean, for me, I enjoyed the world title match. Not that I'm taking anything away from any other matches, but I did enjoy the world title match. I thought it was everything it should have been, and I thought it was very well done.
I think top to bottom, the card, besides the Jericho match from top to bottom, I mean, even including the Jericho match, it fits somewhat because it had to be a filler, but it was one of those things that from top to bottom, this show was filled with good quality matches that could easily just be sold on the matches themselves.
Yeah.
Did we get some throwaway segments which hurt the build? Yes. Which goes into the next match we're going to talk about, which was the ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships. The build to that hurt the match. But in saying that, everybody was like, fuck the Bucks. I hate the Bucks. And then you listen to the crowd, and the crowd is going, this is awesome.
Like I cracked up with the crowd when they were chanting,
please be safe.
Please be careful.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
The crowd was awesome in St. Louis.
If you think about it, there was only 2 filler matches on the main pay-per-view card. Essentially, yes, the Jericho and the TBS title were the filler matches, really. That's my thoughts, only because of how short that TBS title match was.
Yeah.
We get new tag team champions. We also get the return of the scapegoat, Jack Perry. Yeah. Kind of liked the way they did the return. Kind of liked it. Yeah. It's kind of been done before, but kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't think it was a surprise to anybody that he was
No.
there. We all knew he was coming. So,
No
just
surprise.
and the fact that, they pulled the mask off him relatively quickly. They didn't play any games. They didn't try to pretend like it was someone else. They just ripped the Band-Aid off, and there he is. And
Heck, he's got beard hair hanging out. We know it's Jack Perry. All you go need for the
Yeah.
mask.
yeah,
it was definitely and look, the crowd reacted for him. The crowd definitely reacted for him.
Mhm.
This whole thing has definitely put Jack Perry in a new light in regards to his character, and I think he's probably going to benefit from it somewhere in the near future. Who the fuck knows? Could this have all been just a big fucking sting? that beard, it's Sting. Could this have all just been one big fucking giant plan right from the start? Clearly there's
Man,
shit
Sting would
that's
be
gone
a chia
down,
pet
but,
for chia pet for his beard.
there's shit that's gone down, but who knows? We don't
you
know.
just never know.
We don't know the inside of the industry. Like,
Sure.
none of us are in those locker rooms. For all we know, fucking Hunter and Tony are on the phone to each other daily. And
You just
going,
never know.
this creates controversy. Let's fucking do it. Who the fuck knows? None of us.
Mhm.
We are here just wrestling fans, like every single person out that's watching. We know nothing like you guys. We don't know the insides of the industry. Ralph works for a company and has done commentary. ABJ works for companies and has done commentary and stuff, but that doesn't make us insiders.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. We're just giving opinions here, trying our best to figure out what's coming next.
Hey, Chad, we're not going to see Omega for quite a while. He's going to have surgery with his dude that what he had. So
The diverticulitis, yeah.
well, he ain't going to be back for quite a while.
Yeah,
And look,
that's just pretty
diverticulitis is a condition that you live with forever. It is something you can have surgery for, but you can still get it again. And
Brock Lesnar almost died from it.
I've had diverticulitis. You
Crazy.
have to change. You have to change a hell of a lot in your life to be able to survive from it. It is a thing that if it ruptures, it can cause cancer. Like, it can kill you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait a minute. That Sting face mask isn't a mask. Proceeds to take it off. Oh my god, it's Sting again.
Okay, Alex, it's past your bedtime. No, stupid.
I think Alex has hit a bit of the wacky juice tonight.
Yeah.
But we get new tag team champions in the Young Bucks. I think we're
Yeah.
going to see a very interesting take from here, from Dynamite onwards, of how it goes. There you go. He's got until 1 a.m.
If it's Eastern time, it's past 1 o'clock.
That is correct. I can verify that.
Then we go to the main event of the show, which is the AEW World Championship. Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship. We had Swerve Strickland entering the building wearing the Black Panther outfit. Samoa Joe coming to the ring with his normal music. This was a solid fucking match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was gonna be a hard hitting solid match. Yep, Killmonger. He did do the Killmonger look for the entrance.
And don't forget the jacket he was wearing, which was pointed out that it was the jacket of former Embassy founding member Jimmy Rave, sadly no longer with us, but
Rest in
that
peace.
was a nice moment.
Yeah. And I think that to cap off the show, obviously, we end up with a brand new world heavyweight champion, Swerve Strickland, the first ever black AEW champion, and it's history making, done in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I was watching the match, looking at the clock at the same time, looking back and forth, like, please don't end this at a time limit draw.
I was surprised that we got to a match that was not longer. I thought it was going to be longer. We did go just over 20 minutes in the match, but I thought we were going to get a longer match, potentially going to a time limit draw, or there was going to be some screwy finish. When I looked at the clock, I said to myself, nah, we're going to probably have something about 22 minutes because Tony likes to finish under the 4-hour timer mark for the pay-per-views.
Well, if they get rid of the Jericho Hook match, they would have about an extra 15 minutes.
Yeah, if they got rid of the Jericho Hook match, we would have had a lot more time to kill.
Yeah.
Alex says, just saying, I wish one thing had happened. Let us know what it was, and we will. What did you guys think of this main event?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that it really made Swerve look very strong. I thought that there were some great moments in the match. A particular favorite of mine was where Swerve dove off the top rope and Joe did his little walk away and Swerve just landed right on his feet. I thought, you want to make a guy look strong. That's a way to do it.
Yeah, when Swerve wore that gear before he came in the ring, I was like, "Oh crap, he's gonna win the title." That was
special.
Obvious.
Yeah, the fact that we had, we've got the first ever African American world champion in AEW, and the company's not even 5 years old yet, or it's just over 5 years old. Like, I think that definitely says something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if you just hear your father and out pops Christian Cage.
All around though, it's a good accomplishment for AEW. It's a nice accomplishment for Swerve.
I've said this before, and I'll say it 1,000 times. AEW may not pull the numbers for their weekly shows, but their pay-per-views are always fucking mint.
Agree.
I think I've only ever seen one pay-per-view that I wouldn't rate that high.
I haven't recalled if I mentioned a bad pay-per-view as far as AEW goes.
There's only been one for in my opinion, and that was last year.
Yeah, I think they do a great job with pay-per-views.
We can go back to C. Henry's question on did WWE drop the ball with Swerve?
Well, I think there are times where they just don't realize what they have, and whether that's a combination of a talent maybe not showing as much, or maybe not feeling as though they're valued as much, so the wrestler themselves doesn't put enough into it, or it could just be, how many people have slipped through the cracks in WWE. I mean, the numbers are staggering. So, WWE may be the number one company, but that doesn't mean that, they're always on par with that level where they sometimes just don't realize what they have. And then, I mean, I'm sure somebody in WWE is kicking themselves right now after watching.
100%.
I'm sure they saw the show tonight and they're just kicking
100%.
themselves.
When Swerve, go ahead, Rez. I'm sorry.
No, you go, Stephen. You say what you were going to say.
When Swerve was there, it's big man's booking, so it's what Ralph said. They didn't know what to do with Swerve, and what was that faction? Hit Row or something like that. Yeah.
Shit show.
Yeah, they don't know they don't know what to do with them.
No.
It's all about booking.
And look, the thing is, while I sent a message in ABJ's chat earlier about what Adam Pearce had to say in regards to the talent, and he said, "Let's talk about the blame game. If only for this, I could have done that. If it wasn't for this guy, I could have been that. How about you look in the mirror, stare into the eyes of the guy or the girl looking right back in you, and own it. It's your path. You choose it. You walk it. Fuck the excuses. You don't get to complain on the lack of a return on investment that you didn't make. It's your fault. It's always your fault. Did you do everything you could do? Did you? Ask yourself that question on every situation that you're in, because they're going to be variables that you don't control. You control your attitude and you control your effort. Did you do everything you could do to make your situation better? If the answer is yes, you've got nothing to fret about. If the answer is no, it's your fault. It's always your fault. Fuck the excuses. Go to work.
Well,
Now, in my opinion, that is the stupidest fucking thing for a general manager of a company to say. But I also see what Ralph was saying about, did they put in the work?
That's a very simplistic way to kind of look at it, because you can't just say like, oh, well, it's always your fault, just go to work, do everything, it's always your fault. Because there are so many times where, I mean, wrestling is really a two-way street. Even if you're the most talented guy in the world, if you're going out there and the company doesn't believe in you, the company has nothing for you, they're not getting behind you in booking, you can be the most talented guy in the world, and it's like if you're in the middle of a forest and you're wrestling a 5-star match, who sees it? Nobody.
Exactly.
So if they're not really putting anything behind you, you can only do so much to get yourself ahead. You've got to have that company behind you.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think that Swerve has definitely put in the work. I think that Swerve has shown that he is worthwhile, and Tony Khan has looked at this from a fan's perspective and gone, oh shit, these guys really like him and the work ethic he puts in. Not just because he's black, not just because he's popular, but because he's actually putting in the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gone, fuck it, we'll strap the fucking rocket to his back and we'll go from there. We'll see how he goes with the championship. If he sinks or floats, it's something that we took a chance on.
Mm-hmm.
And now it gives us an opportunity to see Swerve be someone that we may have not ever had the chance to see had he stayed in WWE.
It's going to be very interesting to see how long his title run's going to be as far as Swerve go.
I think this is a Daniel Bryan Yes Movement situation all over again, because you just replace Daniel Bryan with Swerve, you replace the Yes chants with whose house? Swerve's house, and they're following the fans, and it's good to see.
You want to find fucking example, the fact of during Ospreay versus Danielson, we got yes no chance.
Exactly.
Yes no chance. We got a chance where people were going yes, then no, because they didn't want to see this happen at the same time. They wanted to see it, but then they didn't want to see it. And it was fucking epic. Like, it created a great atmosphere for the match. And the guys have put the work in. They're putting the work in to get themselves over. You want to find an example of someone who's put the work in is Matt Cardona. The dude went from wrestling in front of thousands of people as I know this word is hated, but a jobber, to being the king of the independent scene.
Mm-hmm.
The must-see of the independent scene. Someone that gets paid fucking good money to go to the independent scene. Gets better money than he was getting on a WWE contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
there's and he's a guy that really went to the indies and ingratiated himself with the fans. He walked into GCW and he didn't just phone it in.
No.
He went in there and gave it everything that everybody else that's on the GCW roster gives it. He did not play games. He went in there and he put in the hard work, but fans recognize that on the indies. That's something that makes the indies special, is that fans have that appreciation for people who come there, are genuine, put in the work. They gravitate towards that.
100%.
Yeah, wish Cardona speedy recovery, torn pec.
Yeah.
Indeed, it could not have happened at a worse time, because he's been on fire, and but he'll come back stronger, I'm sure.
Yep,
100%. And as C. Henry said, Swerve won the title at the time when AEW's roster is at its deepest.
Hey, Tony Khan's not done signing wrestlers, so he's not done. He's gonna
hell no. But you know what?
That book ready.
But you know what? You know what that does? That gives a numerous amount of challenges and a numerous amount of opportunities for the talent to step up and say, hey, we're here, give us a chance. If you're going to pay big bucks for that guy, let me show you why I'm worth his money.
Sure.
Let me show you why I deserve that spot, not him or her.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. I think the fact is that we are now going to see we're seeing a renaissance of pro wrestling. We are seeing it across all companies. We've just seen Matt Hardy return to TNA. We've seen Sami Callihan return to TNA. Am I a big TNA fan? No, not really, but good on them for going and doing what they enjoy. We've got the first ever African-American world champion in AEW. We've got Cody Rhodes as the champion in WWE. We had an Australian women's champion who held the belt for so fucking long and then had to relinquish it because of an injury.
Yeah.
We're seeing different things in this generation of wrestling than what we saw over the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. Like in the 90s, there was champions. And in the 2000s, champions were there, but they weren't really relevant. Like, they were relevant, but it was more about making the star than making the champion. And now it's more about the champion is the top level, and they are the one that is going to set the standard.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that welcome, Winnie the Pooh. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining in on the stream. And yes, we definitely did enjoy Dynasty.
And go eat some honey.
I think we're going to wrap it up in a minute or two. What did you guys, if you had to give this an overall rating for this show, what would your overall rating be?
I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I'd give it a 9. I enjoyed pretty much almost everything, so I can't. There was one match that I didn't enjoy as much as the others, but ABJ made an interesting comment during the stream that if that Jericho Hook match had headlined any independent show that you'd be going to, people would be going nuts for it. So I didn't, it was what it was. I didn't hate it. But overall, I think it was a really good show.
Yeah, I thought it was at least a 9. The Jericho match is what loses it for me.
Same here.
Yeah,
and a couple matches on the 0 hour would get this should have put them on Dynamite.
The Ospreay Danielson match was, as I said, my match of the night. I was glad to see that Joe and Strickland got some good time as well. I think I'm disappointed because I did want Double or Nothing to be where the title change happened. But you know what?
You've been
Congratulations.
predicting for quite a while, haven't you? You've been predicting that for quite a while.
I have, and Tony has decided to throw some fucking kinks in my plans.
Yeah.
And now I have to rewrite my script. So
Yeah, I know Tony watches this show, so shame on you, Tony,
yeah.
for ruining plans.
Tony, you're supposed to make the phone call before you change these things
Correct.
around.
Well, not only that, though, you got the Casino Battle Royal coming up, too, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of here, guys. Do you
Yep.
guys have anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Tomorrow night over on the Opinion City channel, we are taking over the Monday night live stream. So we will have Chilling with the OC starting at 7:45, the usual time. So we look forward to seeing everybody over there tomorrow night for an exciting Monday Night Raw.
And by the way, Rob, congratulations, 200 subscribers.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. We're pretty happy about that. Obviously our recent episode 50 with Mr. Anderson helped out with that, but we've got a lot of great content coming up. We got a lot of great things going on, so we're looking forward to the next 200 and just making our way up the chain. But it's been really exciting to see the growth we've had recently. So we're all just out here trying to help each other and trying to make things work for everybody. So we appreciate all the support.
Yeah. And if you want to keep talking wrestling and you want and you use Discord, join the ABJ Discord, which I've just sent the link for in the chat. You'll find that there are people that talk about wrestling and everything in the lounge chats and stuff. The community is amazing. It's definitely somewhere that you should be if you want to be a part of this community. We'd be loving it to have you. If you are watching this on YouTube, go through all the if you look at the description, you'll see there's stuff for ABJ, there's stuff for the Opinion City and the Ben Frank Connect, or the Ben Frank Connection, which we are a part of. And we will be back on Wednesday night with the Dynamite post show. This time it will be the actual Dynamite post show, not just the graphic for the Dynamite post show. I've been Raz. That's been Stephen. This has been King Ralph from the Opinion City podcast. Thank you to everyone who has been in the chat. It has been a pleasure, and we will see you again when.
Okay, thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.